Welcome to rccars.com. This is our instructional series. Today we're going to take a look at how to paint a Lexan body and get a really cool design. My name is Steve, Sleepy C, and I'll be your host today. I'm not claiming to be an expert, and I'm not claiming to be a professional, but I have painted a few RC car bodies in the past. They've come out pretty cool, so I'm going to go ahead and share my tricks and techniques with you guys. What I thought I'd do is I'd go over some of the equipment that you're going to need to get this job done. Obviously, you're going to need yourself a Lexan body, and that's what this guy is here. What I like to use instead of using any kind of a paint mask, actual vinyl mask or anything, is I like to use the Fast Mask by Parma. It's basically like a liquid latex, and if you can see, it's pretty dull and you can't really see through the body. That's because I've gone ahead and put a couple layers of the liquid mask on here, and that enables me to basically use any part of the truck as a mask. So as you can see, I've drawn the design on with a marker on the outside, and we're just going to go ahead and cut little pieces as we go, and I'll get into that when we do the paint job. I went ahead and got an eBay special airbrush, no name brand for me. I just went to eBay and found a $35 jobber. It's a two-stage airbrush, which means when you push the button down, it puts the air pressure through the gun, and then as you pull the lever back, it adds paint. So you can do really fine detailed work, you can go all the way through, or you can do big, huge areas by pulling back and really letting the paint go. It's a real nice option, and like I said, this is just a no-name brush, and it's worked really well for me. I like it. And speaking of eBay, I also got a constant velocity air compressor specifically designed for hobby-related products. It's pretty quiet. You won't bother the neighbors with it. It has an air regulator. I like to regulate mine 16 to 20 psi when I'm airbrushing. And it also has a moisture trap, which will help you from getting splatters in your paint when you're doing fine work. So again, eBay special. I think it was $50. Can't go wrong. One of the other things that you're going to need is a whole slew of your sharp number 11 blades. When you're cutting the liquid mask, you're going to be dragging this across to make your cuts, and you want to make sure they're as sharp as possible, so you're only cutting the mask and not really cutting into the body. That's pretty much all you need. We'll be using the Fast Color series of paint, which is a water-based paint. There's no odor. You can spray it indoors without worrying about making yourself or anybody else sick, and it lays down really nice, and it has a nice flex agent that really helps it stick to Lexan bodies. So all right, that's the stuff we need. We're going to go ahead and start. Here we go. Okay guys, obviously what you need to do is get yourself a brand new Lexan body. Many companies make them. Just get your favorite one. When you bring it home, pull it out of the package, get it to the sink, and give it a nice washing in a gentle detergent. You want to get all the finger oils and any mold release agents out of it. You can even use a scouring pad and kind of scuff the inside so the paint has some tooth to stick to. Then make sure you dry it out really well and get all the moisture out of it. That'll give you a nice clean body and a great starting point. The next thing I do is I like to try to fit the body to the car, and I don't really handle the inside, so I don't need to go back and wash it again, but I go ahead and trim it while I can still see through it and make sure that everything lines up perfectly and is ready to go. At that point, I like to use a product, Fast Mask from Parma PSE. It's a liquid latex mask that you paint on to the inside of the car. It usually takes about 2 coats. Here's me applying the first coat. And I let the first coat dry for about 6 to 8 hours, and then I'll go ahead and put a second coat on. When you put it on, it's very opaque and white, and then as it dries, it clears out, and you're still able to kind of see through the body. So at that point, I go ahead and I start to sketch on the top protective layer of the body the idea that I want to paint. So this gives me the rough idea of where I'm going to be cutting the paint mask and the order to pull it off so I can start laying down the paint. So what we're going to see here is the paint mask is now dried, and you can see it's fairly clear, and you can see the markings really well. So now I'm going to grab my number 11 blade, and I'm going to start trimming all the areas that I want to be black, solid black. Because with clear bodies, you want to start with darker colors first. So there's me. I'm pulling off the individual pieces that I then trimmed for all my black trim. And now you can see that the Lexan is there, and the paint mask is still there. Protecting the rest of the body. That's a shot of it further back. So there we are. I went ahead and I sprayed all the areas that I wanted to be solid black, and that could be all over the entire body. Anything that I wanted to be solid black, I sprayed at this point. And we'll take another look from the side. Okay, the roll bar in the back, a few of the elements in the front of the design, those are all flat black. Now what I'm going to do is I went ahead and I cut around my main design elements and I ripped off the front part of the mask. And now you can see that it left the black there, but it also left the rest of the body protected. And now I have a certain area that I just want to be able to paint, which would be kind of like the scalloped area. If you can see, that part's much clearer than the part with the liquid latex on it. So the first color I shot was red. I shot the red and just went around the cutout elements and kind of gave that a bit of a heavier paint, heavier look to it. A little more of the red, the deeper color goes right against the edge of that scalloped area. And then after that had dried, I went ahead and I shot orange. Now the orange is going to highlight some of the front markings that I did with the black, and also just kind of go around. You don't have to be super careful, just make it kind of look cool. It's always better to start with lighter strokes and then come back heavier. But now you can see that the orange kind of followed the red in the pattern, and we're starting to build up a little bit of some color. And that's the inside shot. You can see I wasn't too careful with my strokes. Then I went ahead and I shot a white undercoat on all that. And A, that's going to make the fluorescent colors I use pop out really well. And B, it protects it from anything else that we're going to shoot. And now you can start to see that those colors are starting to jump out on the other side. I had also cut the little trim ring around all the scalloped areas too, and now those are white. At that point, after it dried, I went ahead and we're pulling off the back mask. Now this is the part of the back of the car that was masked off. And as you can see, the scallops are there. The paint mask did its job really, really well. And we're starting to get the idea of what the front of our truck's going to look like. And we're still pulling off the back mask because at this point the back of the truck is going to be pretty much a simple color, but the front has this nice scalloped, almost fiery effect going on. And it was a fairly simple process to get to this point already. So at this point now, we're just going to make sure everything's okay, that there's nothing sticking, no paint mask stuck anywhere. And at that point, we're going to start spraying black again. And the reason I didn't spray this black the first time is because this is a shadow for that scalloped area. Just a light little spray of black around that scalloped area, and it's going to give the illusion of that scalloped area being on top of the back part of the truck, or like a three-dimensional paint job, I guess, if you will. And after the black, I went ahead and I followed that up with orange, and I hit it underneath the black, and then in any highlighted area of the back of the truck bed, I just gave it a little bit of a shot of orange. And you can see it's just kind of in the highlight areas, just pretty much anywhere I wanted it. After that, I'm going to go ahead and follow it up with this fluorescent yellow. Now, the fluorescent yellow takes a few coats because it is a very translucent paint. So I shot it once, twice, and this is about the third time I was hitting it. You don't want to go heavy with this paint. You want to do little light shots and let it paint build up gently, dry, and then build it up again. So now you can see that the paint, it's going to have this yellow back, but it still looks pretty translucent. So I went ahead and I shot the entire truck now with a base coat of white. And I did that about 2 times as well. That white's really going to make the fluorescent colors pop out, and bam, there it is. So pretty simple to get this far, and the truck looks pretty good. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and pull the window masks off. As you can see, they're coming right off. You want to pull them in toward itself so you're not pulling against the paint. And we're going to get the side windows off here. And after these guys are off, we're going to flip it over, and you should get a pretty good idea what this paint job is going to look like. And here it is. Okay, so that's pretty much what we were going for, a nice scalloped kind of three-dimensional look. And now we're going to take off the main spray film that comes on the Proline bodies that protects it. That's also what I was drawing on to get my rough idea of the design. So when you pull that off, you have a really nice clean top of the car, and that's the paint job. It looks pretty good. What we're going to do is go ahead and slap it on the car now and see what that looks like in a second, I guess. Getting all the different angles here. And there's the back, and you see the little highlights on the back. All the high areas that I was spraying that orange really kind of gives the truck a nice look in those high areas with the yellow on it. And that's it on the losi, and it's looking pretty good. We'll give it a couple more turns so you can see all the different angles, and then the only thing left to do, and it's one of my favorite things to do, is sticker it up. There it is. We got our RC car stickers on there, Proline stickers, and we're starting to make it look like a race truck now. Some headlights on there, and there she is. I definitely feel that's going to stand out at the track. I'm proud to call it my truck, and it's really not that hard of a process to do. So I encourage anybody out there to take some time, give it a try. Try different things, maybe go with a simpler scheme, a harder scheme, whatever you feel like doing. It's completely up to you. And whatever you come up with, I'm sure you'll be proud of. All right, guys, thank you very much. That was rccars.com, how to paint.